Hey there, Ninja. I'm Stephanie Stiavetti from fearlessfresh.com, and I am super excited to share with you my amazing chicken soup recipe. Now, this chicken soup recipe is better than any other chicken soup I have ever had. Better than my grandma's. I'm gonna bet it's better than your grandma's. It's better than every grandma's because this chicken soup is badass. This soup is so good that I made a gallon of it so that I would have soup for like in the future when I wanted it. I was gonna freeze it, and I ate the whole gallon within like 2 days. It's just that good. So this soup is special for a few reasons. One, because it's got some ingredients in it that you might not normally find in a chicken soup that don't really change the flavor of the soup, but they give it kind of that something that people are like, oh, this is good, what is that? And one of the tricks is a little bit of ginger. Not enough to make it taste like ginger, but enough just to give it just like a warming sensation when you eat it, which is really amazing when you're sick or when you're cold or it's the middle of winter and you're depressed. I totally get it. I'm right there with you. In the dead of winter, I'm like sleeping on the couch like for 24 hours a day. So this soup is amazing. Like I said, it's got some warming qualities. I add a little bit of soy sauce to it because it gives it like kind of like a nuanced saltiness that you don't normally get in chicken soup. I find like a lot of chicken soups are kind of bland. But here's the key to this chicken soup that makes it so good, that makes it more delicious than any other chicken soup. And it's that I brown almost everything that goes into the soup. I brown the vegetables and I brown the chicken before I make the stock. Now you can make this soup with any store-bought stock that you have or any, chicken stock you've got sitting in the freezer. But if you haven't made stock yet, I implore you to do something really unique with your bones first. Take them and throw them in the oven, in a 400-degree oven, just for like 20-30 minutes and roast them a little bit. What happens is those bones roast, they develop like a Maillard reaction. It gives them more complex flavors. You don't want to burn them, but you do want to brown them. And then you use those to make your stock. Now, if you already have stock or you're using store-bought stock, no problem. There's another trick you can use to add the same amount of flavor, and that's you want to brown the vegetables before throwing them into the soup. Now, I say brown the vegetables. I mean, put them in a frying pan with hot oil, and you want to brown them and cook them and cook them and keep cooking them and keep cooking them until they stick to the bottom of the pan. And again, you don't want them to burn. You just want them to stick. As soon as they start to stick, you add just a tiny bit of water on the sticky spots, scrape it up with a spatula. The good brownness comes off the bottom of the pan and mixes into the vegetables, and you keep doing that until your vegetables are well browned. This is where, this is actually one of the most important flavor factors that I can teach you or teach any of my students. Browning equals flavor. And if you join the Fearless Cooking Club, which is my online cooking school, you'll hear me say that 1,000 times a day. Browning equals flavor. Browning equals flavor. You don't want to burn. Browning is very close to burning, but browning gives us, in fact, science hasn't even figured out why it tastes so beautiful. They haven't discovered all the compounds that are created when you caramelize something or create a Maillard reaction with a kind of food. It's all these little flavor compounds that are as of yet unidentified, but they taste delicious and they trigger the part of our brain that loves a super savory meal. That's why when you eat something that's really savory and really hearty, your body just goes, this is so good. It's because very likely there's umami in there, and that umami is brought about by browning and the Maillard reaction. So blah, blah, blah. Long story short, brown your vegetables. You want to brown them well enough so they're really deeply caramelized, and then you add them to the soup, and what happens is all that caramelized goodness ends up in the broth and your soup tastes amazing. It's seriously night and day. You'll be shocked at the difference. If I were to, give you a bowl of regular everyday restaurant chicken soup and then give you a bowl of my chicken soup, it would blow your mind. There's one other tip that I have for chicken soup that a lot of people are like, what? And that's chicken feet. Now, you don't have to use chicken feet, totally optional, but if you're making broth or if you want to make a really quick chicken stock, you don't have any in the cupboard, or you want to try your hand at making chicken stock for the very first time, go to your local butcher and get 2 pounds of chicken feet and just throw them in a pot with water and simmer them at a very low simmer for 3 or 4 hours, and you have instant beautiful chicken stock. And if you're making your own regular chicken stock with a chicken carcass, I have a carcass bag in my freezer, so every time we have chicken or some sort of meat, I throw the bones in that bag until the bag gets full, and then I use that to make stock. You can throw a half a pound to a pound of chicken feet into your the bones you already have to make chicken stock, and you will end up with this beautiful velvety chicken stock, because the connective tissue in the chicken feet basically bubble out into gelatin, and the gelatin is what turns your chicken stock into that beautiful velvety mouthfeel kind of soup. I don't know if you've ever had ramen at a really nice ramen restaurant, and it's so satisfying and you just want to take a bath in that bowl of soup. It's usually because they've added a lot of bits and bobs with connective tissue, and a really easy way to do that is with chicken feet. So Excuse me. Somewhere on this page, you will find a recipe or a link to the recipe for my chicken soup recipe. I highly recommend you find it and make it. The recipe is hosted on fearlessfresh.com, which is the place to go if you want to become a faster, more creative, more effective home cook. Have a good one.